Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Walls, Commander of Post 325. Please stand for prayer given by Auxiliary Chaplain Joanne Kettleman.
Almighty God, in your hands are the living and the dead. We give you thanks for all those, our comrades who have laid down their lives in the service of our country. May they rest in peace, and may light perpetual shine upon them. May the good work of seeking justice for the oppressed and peace for all mankind be rewarded with success, that their sacrifices shall not have been in vain, and may we never fail to remember that awesome cost of the freedom that we enjoy. All this we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, those missing in action, and to honor those who have served and are still serving in this great nation's armed services.
Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose, President of the Auxiliary Unit 325 in Allenton. Please continue standing as our colors are posted by the Parish Community High School JROTC Bulls Battalion Color Guard. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The national anthem will now be sung by Shaylee Plickta, a senior at Manatee School for the Arts.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red
Thank you, Shaylee. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Palmetto Vice Mayor Brian Williams. Mayor Shirley Ruber Bryant is not able to be with us today. Vice Mayor Williams has graciously stepped in. Brian Williams has been a member of the Palmetto City Council since being elected in 1992 and has been vice mayor for 6 years. He served in the United States Air Force for 4.5 years and is a Vietnam veteran. He is a member of the Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Foreign War, Masonic Lodge, and has served on the Manatee County Children's Service Board, Manatee River Fair Association Board, and Palmetto City Code Enforcement Board. Mr. Williams was born in Virginia and moved to Manatee as a child. He is a proud fourth-generation resident of Manatee County. Please welcome Palmetto Vice Mayor Brian Williams.
This is a proclamation, and I'm trying to welcome everybody here. I welcome you all to this beautiful facility on such a beautiful day here in Paradise. This is a proclamation of the city of Palmetto. Whereas in 1992, when Morrill Worcester, a wreath maker in Harrington, Maine, found himself with a surplus of 5,000 wreaths during the holiday season, he contacted Maine Senator Olympia Snow, who arranged to have the fresh handmade wreaths placed at Arlington National Cemetery. And whereas the mission of the Wreaths Across America organization is to remember the fallen, honor those that serve and their families, and teach the next generation about the value of freedom. And whereas, as part of their annual tradition, Wreaths Across America chooses a new theme to help supporters focus their messaging and outreach in their own communities. And less chosen to the theme for 2021 is Live Up to Their Legacy. And whereas the Mansion Memorial Park Cemetery has the first cemetery in Manatee County with 101 cemeteries in the state of Florida to participate in the coordinated wreath laying ceremonies on the third Saturday in December, along with other national, state, and national veterans cemeteries nationwide. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary Unit number 325 in Ellenton, Florida, is proud to be sponsoring organization for the Wreaths Across America and will hold an outdoor ceremony at the Mansion Memorial Park Cemetery honoring special guests of World War II Army Air Force veteran Sam Scott of Palmetto, and remembering all the fallen interned there. Now therefore, I, Brian Williams, Vice Mayor of the City of Palmetto, on behalf of Shirley Gruber Bryant, the Mayor of the City of Palmetto, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 18th, 2021 as Wreaths Across America Day.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor Williams, for this honor and for joining us here today. Right now, across the country, at more than 3,100 memorial sites, we are gathered as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us and in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear.
The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shrine, a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives to keep us free. And we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who had to fight, and continue to fight to protect the innocent and the oppressed. This nation has always been the first to stand up for freedom of people from all around the world. Many of you have answered the call to serve your country well. We want to say thank you. We are honored to know you. At this time, will all veterans here today please stand and be recognized? Thank you. We would also like to especially recognize our World War II veterans. Mr. Marvin White, U.S. Army, Mr. Sam Scott, U.S. Army Air Corps, and Mr. Bill Hennessy, who just passed away from of the U.S. Merchant Marines. Are there any other World War II veterans here today? Okay, please join me in honoring these heroes from the greatest generation.
There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military, here at home and in places far away that most of us have never heard of. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped force in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice.
Today, we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who served and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom.
At this time, it is our great privilege to introduce to you our special guest of honor, World War II Army Corps pilot, veteran, First Lieutenant Samuel P. Scott. Mr. Scott turned 100 years old on August 21st, 2021. Mayor Bryant proclaimed that day as Samuel P. Scott Day. He received a written birthday wish from Florida Congressman Vern Buchanan and Florida District 73 State Representative Tom Gregory. We are also honored to have with us his wife of 61 years, Mrs. Bonnie Scott, and their family. Please stand to be recognized.
Mr. Scott enlisted in the Army Air Corps in Tampa, Florida in 1942. As he had not reached his 21st birthday yet, at enlistment, his father had to go with him to sign and give his permission. When he filled out the application, he was asked what 3 things he wanted to do in the service. Mr. Scott wrote down pilot, pilot, and pilot. And that's what he became, piloting a C-46 aircraft with the 1st Bomber Command from Guadalcanal to Okinawa.
Mr. Scott was sent to the Pacific Theater with the 5th Combat Cargo Squadron, where he transported equipment in and bodies out. All of his flights were in combat areas, where he was under constant attack by the Japanese. On one particular mission, his plane was shot down as a result of poor intelligence. He received broken ribs and a damaged backbone.
On another mission, Mr. Scott was instructed to unload all of the radio equipment and set up an operating base for Americans. His aircraft did not have hydraulics like the planes do today, so he found an old truck that had been disassembled, put wheels on it, and rolled it to the aircraft to unload a forklift that was in the belly of the plane. He got the forklift removed, all the Japanese flags from the airbase, and raised the American flag, expecting to be shot at any minute. One of those Japanese flags was presented to him and was framed and is now hanging in his home in Palmetto.
Mr. Scott received an honorable discharge in February of 1946 and was awarded 5 Bronze Stars for invasion of South Philippines, Luzon, New Guinea, Ryukyu Island, and the Western Pacific Campaign. The Air Medal Award, Philippine Liberation Ribbon, and Bronze Star. Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with Silver Star. Army Aviator Badge, and Honorable Service Button. He returned a Pell Medal and became an electrical contractor, working for his father at Scott's Electric Company until he retired at age 76. He loves to hunt, fish, and loves eating out at Anna Maria Oyster Bar. Today, you can find him watching the oldies on TV. A few of his favorites are Gunsmoke, Annie Griffith, and NCIS. Mr. Scott, thank you for your service and your sacrifice to our country. We are honored to have you here with us today.
Mr. Scott, we would like to present you with this commemorative pin, coin from Wreaths Across America, and the Wreaths Across America cap.
So we have you a new cap. You're going to take that one off your head and put your new one on, okay? And this is the Wreaths Across America cap. Okay? All right. There you go. And a pen, okay? Can you hold those? You okay? You got it? I got it, okay.
Mr. Scott, we would also like to present you with this patriotic bouquet of flower for sharing your. Mrs. Scott, I'm sorry. We would like to present you with this patriotic bouquet for sharing this special occasion with us today. Thank you so much.
We will now have the laying of the wreaths ceremony. Our veterans placing the wreaths will be escorted by the Palmetto High School Junior ROTC cadets under the command of Battalion Commander Emily Neves. Cadet Elijah Roberson will escort World War II U.S. Army First Lieutenant Scott Samuel and Mrs. Scott to the ceremonial wreaths. First Lieutenant Scott will place the Veterans Wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Army.
Cadet Jesse Mustafa will you escort Marine veteran Jim Newer II to the ceremonial wreaths? Veteran Newer will now place Veterans Wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps.
Cadet Emily Nevis will escort Captain Mike Hartford, United States Navy, retired, to the ceremonial wreaths. Captain Hartford will now place the Veterans Wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Navy.
Cadet Jan Paul Bravo, will you escort Chief Master Sergeant Carl Hessinger, U.S. Air Force, retired, to the ceremonial wreaths? Chief Master Sergeant Hunsinger will now place the Veterans Wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Air Force.
Cadet Elijah Roberson, will you escort U.S. Coast Guard veteran Renee Medea to the ceremonial wreath? Veteran Medea will now lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Cadet
Jesse Mustafa, will you please escort Korean Army veteran Tom Skelly to the ceremonial wreaths? Mr. Scully will now lay a veteran's wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marines.
Junior ROTC Commander Emily Nevis will now lay a veteran's wreath in honor of those who have served and are still serving in the United States Space Force.
Cadet Jean-Paul Bravo, would you escort Army veteran Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Wright to the ceremonial wreaths? Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Wright will now lay a veteran's wreath to honor the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoner of war, missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes. We shall not forget you. Okay, we would now like to recognize our Gold Star and Blue Star families. Gold Star families have lost a family member while serving in our service. Blue Star families have an active duty family member. Do we have anybody present with us that are Gold or Blue Star families? Please stand. Our thoughts and prayers are with you today. Thank you for being here.
At this time, we would like to recognize all American Legion posts, auxiliaries, AMVETS, DAV, and VFW members. We also have here today Chief Master Sergeant Carl Hundinger, United States Air Force, retired, President of Minnesota Veterans. Please stand. Thank you for your service. I would also like to recognize a few dignitaries out in the audience out here. We've got the Department Children and Youth Officer, Les Martin. District 8 Auxiliary President, Harriet Martin. Past District President, Teresa Walls. And over here taking pictures is Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Wright. Thank you all for being here today.
Now, I was supposed to introduce the City of Palmetto Vice Mayor Brian Williams and District 4 Manatee County Commissioner Misty Serva. Misty, are you here? Misty, thank you. Okay, and then are there any other elected officials with us here today? Mr. Stature, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting our mission to honor our veterans. Oh, we do. Where? Let me see. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is our privilege to have as a guest speaker today Master Sergeant Tammy Arnold, United States Air Force, retired. Master Sergeant Arnold will speak to us today about the Quilts of Valor and her group, Tangled Threads.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Master Sergeant Tammy Arnold, U.S. Air Force retired. First, I want to thank Cookie Agan, the American Legion for inviting us to participate in Wreaths Across America and the opportunity to honor our veterans. With me today is Denise Miker, former U.S. Navy, Ellen Lanuette, Karen Miker, and Jamie Gray. We are a Quilts of Valor group. We are Tangled Threads. I'd like to share with you the history of the Quilts of Valor Foundation. The foundation began in 2003 with a dream. Our founder, Catherine Roberts, was worried about her son, Nate, being deployed to Iraq post 9/11. In her words, I saw a young man sitting on the side of his bunk in the middle of the night, hunched over. The feeling I had was one of utter despair. I could see his war demons clustered around, dragging him down into an emotional gutter. Then, as if viewing a movie, I saw him in the next scene, wrapped in a quilt. His whole demeanor had changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The quilt had made a dramatic change. The message of that dream was quilts equal healing. Mrs. Roberts acted on that vision and presented her first quilt at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, Bethesda, Maryland, in November of 2003. Today, the Quilts of Valor Foundation continues the dedication of covering all veterans and service members with a quilt of comfort and healing. We are an all-volunteer service organization and appreciate your support to help us continue to provide quilts of healing and comfort to our deserving veterans. Since the foundation started keeping records in 2010, we have presented over 291,505 quilts. As we all know, freedom is never free. A veteran is someone who wrote a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. Today, we're here at Wreaths Across America to honor our World War II Army Air Corps veteran. First Lieutenant Samuel Scott, please step forward. First Lieutenant Samuel Scott served in the United States Army Air Corps from 1942 through 1946 as a pilot. He served with the 5th Combat Cargo Squadron, 1st Bomber Command in the Pacific Theater during World War II, flying the Curtiss C-46A Commando. The Curtiss C-46A was the largest and heaviest twin-engine aircraft operated by the Air Corps at that time. He also flew with the 1st Bomber Command from Guadalcanal to Okinawa, Japan. He was responsible for removing the Japanese flags from Yokohama Air Base, Japan, and raising the American flag. Lieutenant Scott has also participated in the New Guinea campaign and has been awarded 5 Bronze Star medals for his participation in the South Philippines, Luzon, New Guinea, Ryukyu Islands, and the Western campaigns. He holds the Army Air Medal, World War II Victory Medal, Philippine Liberation Medal with a Bronze Star, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with a Silver Star, Army Aviator Badge, as well as many other distinguished awards and decorations. Thank you, Lieutenant Scott, and welcome home. A quilt of valor has 3 parts. The top is stitched and pieced, sewn together and bound to remind you of the many diverse people and unique individuals with whom you served, your brothers and sisters in arms. The center of the sandwich, the batting, is our hope this quilt will bring warmth, comfort, peace, and healing to the individual who receives it. The backing is the strength that supports the other layers. It represents the strength of the recipient, the strength of the unit, of family, and the strength that comes from grateful strangers. Each stitch holding the pieces and layers together represents love, gratitude, and tears of the maker. A Quilt of Valor also has a 3-part message. First, we honor you for your service. Second, we know freedom is never free, and this quilt says thank you for your sacrifice. Third, these quilts are meant to offer comfort. We consider it a privilege to honor you, as we will never know the extent of your sacrifice and service to protect and defend our country. Quilters say every quilt tells a story. The story of this quilt began by our founder, who shares your love of country, and the women of our Tangled Threads Quilts of Valor group. On each quilt is a custom label which tells you about the quilt's beginning, your service to our great country. As of today, this quilt becomes yours. We hope you will keep it with you as a tangible reminder of no matter where you are or how you served, you have never been forgotten. Today we honor Lieutenant Scott and are honored to add him to our Quilts of Valor roll call. Therefore, on behalf of the over 10,000 members who make up the Quilts of Valor Foundation, we honor him with this quilt. May it comfort and keep you warm, reminding you of a grateful nation who is so thankful you did not have to sign that check paid in full. Thank you for being an outstanding example for those of us who followed, and welcome home.
Master Sergeant Arnold, thank you. And we would like to present you with this commemorative pin from Wreaths across America. Thank you so much for being with us today. Oh. We are here today to remember not the deaths, but the lives of each wreath is a gift of appreciation from a grateful nation. These live balsam fir wreaths symbolize our honor to those who have served and are still serving in the armed forces of our great nation, and the families who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. For our children, we want you to understand that the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a great cost. As a nation, standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thank you to our veterans who have the freedom to do just that.
Please stand for the playing of the taps.
We will now retire the colors.
Tomorrow all the things were gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my life. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget those who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American's heart. It's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget those who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Our location coordinator, Cookie Agan, will now give you the wreath laying protocol. Thank you.
Yay, Cookie! Yay, Cookie! Woo!
Wow, what a crowd. Thank you all so much for coming today. Thank you, Mr. Scott. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so proud to know you. It has been my honor to be the locations coordinator for Mansion Memorial Park Cemetery for the last 3 years. As those of you who have been coming for the last 3 years can see, it continues to grow every year. Thanks to y'all. Thanks to the sponsorship. I couldn't do this without y'all. Thank you so much. I did want to let you know, if you were here last year, Mr. Bill Hennessy placed the wreath for our Merchant Marines. Mr. Hennessy was supposed to do that again today, passed away yesterday, doing what he loved best at 97 years old, sailing his sailboat out on the bay. So he's at peace. Remember him and his family in your prayers. Thank you. So today, as you can see, we have wreaths placed everywhere. For those of you who would like to stay and place the wreath, I'm going to give you the protocol for that, okay? So please place the wreath on the marker, not in front of the marker, not behind the marker, but on the marker, because the grounds crew can't mow the grass and can't weed eat if the wreaths they have to get off their mower or stop and replace it. So please do that. Also remember, if the spouse is not a veteran, do not place a wreath on that grave. Because last year we ran out of wreaths because the wreaths were being placed on the spouse's markers as well. So if the spouse is a veteran, please put it there. No problem. Another thing we would like for you to recognize is if the headstone or the marker has a menorah or a Star of David. Unless we have permission from the family, we don't place wreaths on those graves, but if they are a veteran, please stop and recognize that veteran. Pay them their respect. When placing the wreath, I ask you to do several things. The first thing is speak that veteran's name out loud. This may be the last time they ever have their name spoken out loud. Thank them for their service and their sacrifice, and reflect on their service. You know, they say when you die twice. The first time is when you take your last breath. The second time is when your name is said out loud for the very last time. Let's not let that happen to our veterans. Let's remember them. Please be respectful of the other graves that are alongside the veteran. And they may not be a veteran, but please be respectful of all people interred here. After we get through placing wreaths here, those who would like to travel in a caravan, our Legion riders will lead us to Parish Cemetery. We have 87 veterans interred there, and this is our first year to honor those veterans. And they date back pre-Civil War. Thank you so much for being a part of this service. We hope you continue to support Wreaths Across America and Mansion Memorial Park Cemetery. We ask you to help us with our mission, to remember the fallen, to honor those who have served and are still serving and their families, and to teach our children the value of freedom. Also, I would like to let you know, those of you who know me, and those of you who have been around for the last few years, my husband, Jerry Agan, has been an instrumental part of this ceremony. He's been my supporter, my backer. He carries my tables around to my presentations. He's always there for me. And he passed away in February with COVID. So I would like for y'all to remember him. He is getting a wreath laid on his grave today in Sarasota National Cemetery. And I thank Misha Richardson for taking care of that for me. Thank you all for being here. Please take pictures. Please look at the displays. Please congratulate Mr. Scott. Thank you so much for coming.